Hi, I'm Justine McLean, business finance expert, author, speaker, financial educator, and host of the Secrets of Successful Business podcast. And I'm coming to you today from the South Coast in New South Wales here in Australia, and it is the traditional home of the Wandandian people. I've been a business owner now for 30 years. I started out in publishing and I have worked in retail and e-commerce. And I've also had a business in financial services that I sold just over 12 months ago so that my focus could solely be on helping women in business really achieve their definition of success, what success means to them at this time in their life and their business. And a lot of the times that success comes down to how well they manage their money. And so my mission really is now to help all business owners, whoever they are, supercharge their profits and really make the sort of money that they deserve in a business that they love, that is not only sustainable, but profitable too. So my chapter for women making a difference is called Success or Failure: How a Five-Figure Business Tax Debt Changed My Life and Business for Good. And it's my story, how I started my business, and it's going back to 2002, really. But I'll dive in now. I'll read you an excerpt and I hope you enjoy it. What does success mean to you in this season of life and business? Now it's a question I ask myself and my clients as we plan that next stage of our business. But back when I started my first business, success was a concept I rarely considered. Sure, on some level, I wanted to achieve success, but deciding what that meant was never top of mind. For me, success usually meant looking left and right and trying to measure up to someone else. And starting that first business in 1994 was about allowing me to stay home and care for our newborn son. It was trading time for money, and success back then usually meant a shower before midday. If I'm honest, the idea that I was running a business didn't enter the equation. I did the work, got paid, and went about my day. And that business idea worked until it didn't. In 2002, now with 4 boys under 7, my husband David and I decided to partner up and open destination retail toy stores, plus an e-commerce business. We had story time, art classes, and birthday parties, and sold beautiful, well-made toys. Simply trading time for money was no longer an option. Suddenly, we found ourselves with a whole lot of work to do to keep the business going, from ordering stock to managing staff, merchandising, marketing, tech stuff, operations, and finances. We were overwhelmed and out of our depth. Success meant making it through the day with enough energy to do story time at night with our kids. Our business took off quickly and we were making money, and the laundry list of things to do kept growing. And as any good partnership does, we divided up the jobs. Unfortunately, I got stuck with the finances, the job no one else wanted to do. As a creative person, the idea of doing numbers made me feel ill. I didn't do numbers. I almost failed maths at school, and apart from paying the household bills, taking on the business finances was not appealing at all. But someone had to do the work, and because we were bootstrapping this business, I had no choice but to step up and get the job done. I spoke to our accountant, who assured me it was as simple as registering the business for taxes and keeping track of the numbers. How hard could it be? It's more complicated than you think. Despite doing what I believed were all the right things, only a few years into the business, I got an email from my accountant which changed my life forever. I'll never forget it. I stared at that email in disbelief. Sure, there must have been a big mistake. As I read and reread the email, panic started to rise. The number 42,000. 42,000. 42,000 seemed to get larger each time I read it. After a frantic call to my accountant, my worst fear was realised. We owed $42,000 to the Australian Tax Office. There was no real explanation. We had no savings, and I had no idea how we would pay off the debt. Now I had to call David and tell him the news. I sat in shame. What had I done wrong? Even though I didn't do numbers, I embraced the job I was given, and I was careful with every entry and expense. How had this happened? How had I got it so wrong? At that moment, I felt stupid. My confidence was shattered, and the money story I'd been telling myself all my life was coming true. I couldn't be trusted with money, and I didn't deserve to have it. Who did I think I was starting such a big business? Our friends told us at the start that most businesses failed, and they were right. We had failed. You've heard the saying, you don't know what you don't know. And in this case, it was true. But it took a new accountant many years and a lot of heartache before I finally forgave myself for my business money misstep. The debt was an accounting error, not of my making, but in the aftermath of that massive tax bill and the struggle to pay it off, I realised there was a flaw in the system. You see, in most countries around the world, we aren't taught to manage our money, particularly when it comes to business. And more often than not, we run our business hoping for the best, sacrificing our time, energy, and money in an attempt to achieve our definition of success. At that moment back in 2024, success was about paying off debt. Still, more than that, it became a journey to understand why I ended up in debt in the first place, so I would never let it happen again. My mum had taught me to fight in that positive, optimistic way only mums can, and that ingrained tenacity gave me the courage to go forward. So instead of giving up and accepting the $42,000 tax debt was a failure, I chose to reframe, go to the other extreme, and view it as an opportunity. I decided to learn everything I could about business finance. I wanted to become a finance expert, and not in a boring, unrelatable way like so many finance professionals were at the time, but in a practical, proactive, and positive way where I could serve my business and help other business owners too. I got educated, did 1,000 hours of business activity statement preparation, working in an insolvency firm, and became a registered BAS agent. And that's where my business story truly begins. In 2016, I opened a new business helping small business owners with their bookkeeping and compliance and educating them on business money. My mission was simple: to help increase financial literacy so that business owners could pay themselves a wage and superannuation, as well as supercharge their profits, all while working in a business that fit their lifestyle. For the first time in my business and life, I sincerely asked what success meant to me now in this season. And when I knew the answer, I created a series of goals to help me achieve my definition of success. I kept the blinkers on because I knew the key to striving for success that was uniquely mine meant no more looking left and right, no more comparison. And as a trained money expert, one of my success measures had to be a financial goal. So that was in the mix too. I'd ask the same of my clients, and while their answers were often similar, they wanted to stop working for nothing, spend time with their kids, or build a legacy and have an impact. Each one of them had a unique reason for doing business. And that is where I'm going to leave the chapter. I go on to talk about a bit more about success and to talk about one of my clients, Grace, her story, and how we managed to turn her business around just with a bit of focus on the finances. So I hope you've enjoyed this little teaser of my chapter in Women Making a Difference. I would love to connect with you further. So please come follow me at Flossie Files over on Instagram or JustineMcLean.com. Thanks so much for listening, and hope you buy the book and enjoy it.